Hey team, Yasin here, and in this training we are going to be going over funnel foundations. Now, the reason why this training is going to be absolutely critical is because a lot of you may not even know what a funnel is, or for some of you who actually think you guys know what a funnel is, you're going to be really, really blown away because we're going to really talk about the foundations and the principles behind what a funnel is, not only specifically for sales, not only specifically for marketing, but also for your business as a whole. So with that, let's go ahead and dive right into the training. So the first question you might be asking is, what is a funnel? And it's a very valid question. So the truth is that it is a very loaded term that in business means a lot of different things, okay? So different people might be referring to different things when they talk about a funnel. But in general, it usually refers to any process, system, or asset in business that filters from many to few in a business. Whatever that does, it's typically referred to as a funnel, okay? So in some ways, if you think about it, your entire business can be a funnel because in the beginning, right, in the front end, you might have a front end product that has many customers, right? And then at the end of that front end product, you then upsell those customers into a back end product. And so as a result, that entire front end product and the back end product, all of those together will create a funnel as well. So that's one way that you can look at what a funnel might be. Another thing is that your sales process can be a funnel, right? So in the beginning, you have many prospects, right? People who may be clicking on your ads or people that you send friend requests to, all of those individuals. And then at the end of it, you basically have few customers. So in that entire pipeline, that could also be referred to as a funnel. The next thing is that your marketing can be a funnel. So you're running paid traffic and you're getting many eyeballs. And then from there, you have a couple leads who come through that process that can also be referred to as a funnel as well. So when we say that it's a loaded term, typically when we talk about a funnel, it can refer to a number of different things when we talk about a funnel, right? And so here's a couple examples here, right? You have a top of marketing funnel, middle of funnel sales process, and then you have customers, right? You might have traffic going to like a PDF bait, then you have a front end product, middle product, and then you have a back end product, right? Or you might have top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel. There's many different ways that this word funnel is utilized in today's context of business, okay? So the big thing I want to focus on here is that, right, we've talked about the big picture funnel, right? We've talked about the different kind of, you can have like even your entire, not only your entire business, but also your entire industry can be a funnel in the sense of you're driving awareness in the industry, right, in the marketplace regarding your company. Then you're starting to get those individuals who are interested, those individuals who have a desire to purchase, and those who actually take action. So that can be one kind of like a big picture funnel. But specifically what we're going to be kind of talking about in today's training is going to be what we typically call sales funnels. And sales funnels are typically just a series of web pages that kind of do the same thing, right? It's just kind of like a sideways version of what I have here on the right side, which is like a series of web pages that is designed to take a customer through a process, okay? So we're going to talk more about that later in today's training, but I just want you to understand that there are kind of big picture funnels, then there are sales funnels. And typically when people are talking about like, hey, what funnel are you running, right? They're typically talking about running these series of web pages that's what they're referring to, okay? Now, you might have seen this in the playing the game of numbers training, but I want to touch base on here is that, like I've said earlier, sometimes we might even refer to this entire sales process as a funnel. So right here in actually the diagram, I have here that the landing page and the thank you page are, like I said earlier, that's usually what people call the funnel, right? It's kind of like the series of web pages. However, you can see this entire thing as being a funnel as well, right? The Facebook ad, the people going to the landing page, the thank you page, the call schedule, the call show, and the customer. So it's not always a website. And in the bigger picture, you might have different pieces as well. So this is a different example of a funnel, is that you might actually end up, instead of having your Facebook ads going to a call schedule, you might have your Facebook ads going to a webinar. And then that webinar pushes people to an order page. And then that is how you end up getting your customers from there. So there's different types of pieces for this funnel that for different types of funnels that might go in here as well. Another example of this, and this is one of the ones that we actually have in our training and in our playbook, is that you might be pushing your Facebook ads to go to a Facebook group. So instead of having them schedule a call, right, directly, you might be pushing them first to go to the Facebook group. Then you nurture them a little bit, and then from there you have them schedule a call, and then you have them show up to the call, and then from there they turn into a customer. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways that these pieces can be put together in the bigger picture funnels, and then specifically the web pages. There's different ways that those can be structured as well. Now, the big thing that I want to warn you with is do not get distracted. And I sometimes joke, I say, we say we've lost a lot of entrepreneurs to shiny object syndrome. And I say we've lost a lot of entrepreneurs. I don't mean like death, but I do mean in the sense of death of entrepreneurs, in that there's many people who have literally just been like addicted to shiny object syndrome. And so they end up figuring out, okay, hey, you know what? I'm going to put this puzzle here. I'm going to put this piece here. I'm going to do a webinar here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. But the truth is that we are going to give you guys in this program all of the sales funnels and sales choreography that have been proven. So that it's literally plug and play for you guys, that it's literally copy and paste, and you just have to follow the system. And I kid you not when I say that we have spent literally multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to learn this, right? To be able to give this to you guys and not only learn it, but also do it ourselves for so many years, right? We know exactly, so intimately, we know exactly what works. So rather than you going out there and trying to come up with your own choreographies, just please, please, please don't be cute. Just follow the sales choreographies that we have laid out, follow the sales funnels that we have laid out for you. It's going to be easier for you. You're going to make a lot more money that way. And so it just makes more sense for you to do that. Okay. So I'm just showing you kind of the different variations just so that you have an idea, because I want you guys as students and clients who go through this program and this training to be very well educated on the principles. But that does not mean that you should go out there and make a webinar. You should go out there and follow what we have laid out in the program so that way you can be successful. So I just wanted to go ahead and share that with you because that's a very important note that's to mention here, okay? So in the same way that, like I said, we have this typical scheduler funnel here with this entire process, like I said, you can kind of look at it in this regard, right? You have the Facebook ads traffic that you're sending. Then you have your landing page, you have your thank you page, you have your call schedule, your calls show, and your customer. And then every stage inside of the funnel, there's numbers and metrics and KPIs and benchmarks that are attached to it. And that's where your business intelligence sheet and knowing your numbers and all of those other trainings that we have in the program, that's what they talk about though, in terms of knowing your numbers for every part of the funnel. So you can know, okay, hey, you know what? The landing page part of my funnel is broken because it's not converting to the thank you page at this percentage, right? Oh, this part of the funnel is broken because it's not converting to the next part. And so that way you can actually diagnose what part of your overall macro funnel is broken. And so I just wanted to show you this is because at the end of the day, you just flip that entire process on its side, right? You just take all of either the sales pages, right? Or you take the entire process even, flip it on its side, and you can see how it becomes a funnel where you get maybe 200 people hitting your landing page. Out of those 200 people, you get 40 people who actually, go to your go from your landing page to your thank you page. Then you have 20 people who schedule a call, 10 people show up to the call, and you get 3 customers from that. So in that way, you can see it as a funnel. The other thing I wanted to touch base on is that technically, even your organic process that you do via the daily implementation sheet that we teach in our trainings, that is also technically a funnel as well, right? So in the beginning, you're sending Facebook friend requests, kind of like your traffic, and then you're sending your opening messages. From there, you're having those replies and those conversations in Messenger. From there, you're scheduling calls. From there, you have calls show. And then from there, you have a customer, right? And so in that regard, your organic process is technically in a bigger scheme of things also referred to as a funnel, right? Because if we just flip it on its side, you can see here, this is not the exact numbers and these are not the exact percentages. There are percentages attached to this, which you can refer to the training regarding playing the game of numbers in organic. That'll show you the numbers for that. But you send 200 opening messages, you might get, X number of replies and convos, you might get X number scheduled, you might get X number show, you might get X number who become a customer. So in that regard, even your organic process is a funnel. And this is exactly why making this training about funnel foundations is so critical, because a lot of people just think that a funnel is just like web pages, right? Or they might think a funnel is just something else. And that's why I wanted to go ahead and explain this to you guys, because it's absolutely critical for you as a business owner to be able to understand, hey, a holistic overview of the exact terms that we're utilizing here, okay? Now, if you're being technical about this, and this is going to be kind of like a joke, but it's also kind of not like a joke, because you can even technically make funnels for things that are not business related. And so this is the funnel that I had made for myself when I was actually looking for a spouse. And so, yes, I'm that kind of guy who might actually do something like this. And so if you flip this on its side, you can see here that you can have, spouse leads traffic coming from, Bumble or, whatever else wherever else you might get leads from. And then you might have a percentage that you swipe right on. Then there's a percentage that you chat with. Then there's a percentage that you get on an icebreaker call with. Then there's a percentage that you'd be dating, right? And then there's one that ended up being your spouse. And so in that way, I just wanted to kind of open the doors for you guys and understand like, hey, this can also be used in other areas of life. Whenever you're taking anything from many to few, and there's numbers attached to it, you can create a process around it, all that kind of stuff. That's a funnel. in the general scheme of things, okay? So that has been this part of the training regarding, in general, what is a funnel. And so now you have a very good understanding to be able to understand exactly what a funnel is and kind of the different uses that a funnel can have. So let's go ahead now and talk about specifically sales and marketing funnels, okay? Because at the end of the day, we're here to make money and that's what we want to focus on. So let's go ahead and talk about sales and marketing funnels. So what is a sales funnel? Like we talked about earlier, a sales funnel usually refers to a simple website with a series of pages that usually only has one button on each page that walks a prospect through the buying process and maximizes monetization, okay? So you can kind of think of it like an online salesperson. And so it usually has text and images and videos on that page that are choreographed in a way to maximize the probability of someone purchasing. And so a sales funnel is choreographed from top to bottom on that one page, right? So in the beginning, you might be having emotional testimonials, and at the bottom, you have logical testimonials, because usually the buying process in the brain, initially somebody needs to be hooked on with emotions, and then eventually they buy at the bottom because of some, they want to be convinced, right? That would be on the one sales side. And then on the next page, you might have, some other part of it, and then you kind of walk them through this choreographed process where they purchase on one page, then you might have an upsell on the other page, or entire process might be multiple pages in that regard as well. Now, I know that was a little bit abstract with my hands here, but I wanted to kind of just show you guys an example of somebody by the name of Russell Brunson. He is, in my opinion, he's a really, really good marketer. He runs a company called ClickFunnels. You may have heard of him. And I want to show you this example. Now, this does not mean that you should fall down Russell's funnel, because he is an amazing marketer. And there's the chances of you actually going in there and falling down this funnel and purchasing are very high. And so I'm warning you right now. But this is what we call a book funnel. Okay, this is a sales funnel that is a book funnel. Now, his is a little bit more advanced because he's running a $100 million company. But I just wanted to show you here that you can see here he has a headline here. There's kind of like an anatomy of what a funnel has. That's a whole separate training that we might potentially make out for you guys to understand the anatomy of a funnel. But at the end of the day, just use the ones we give you, because that's the biggest thing that we would recommend instead of trying to test it yourself. So you can see here that all of that he has on here, the text, the images, the videos, all of that is designed on this landing page. This is what we call a landing page in a funnel, to push you to hit one button. All of this is one button. Yes, reserve my free copy now, right? Here it says, yes, reserve my free copy now. All of this is pushing, literally on this entire page, there is only one button. Yes, reserve my free copy now. Okay, you're not convinced now? Let me give you a couple more text blocks. Boom, reserve my free copy now. You're not convinced yet? Cool, let me give you some videos. Let me give you some videos so you can be convinced now. Are you convinced now? Boom, hit it, right? And so, okay, you're not convinced yet? Let me give you a little bit of what the bonuses include. These are what the bonuses have. Okay, are you convinced yet? Boom, hit the button. So it's all just pushing you to hit one button. And then when you hit that button, boom, that is when you have the quote-unquote purchase or the order page or the opt-in right there, right? And so right here, that's where it's pushing. This entire page on this funnel, it is designed to push you towards one specific button, okay? And so that's kind of one example that I wanted to show you on here regarding what a sales funnel might look like. Now, with this specific funnel, if we were kind of break it out, I know kind of how Russell structures his book funnels, but like the page we were on was on the landing page, and he's pulling in traffic from, let's say, Facebook, or he's pulling in traffic from organic, like we just went to his, URL. So you hit on the landing page, you buy the book, right? You put in your credit card information there. On the next page, or even on the same page, you might have something called an order bump, where he'd be like, okay, hey, you just wanted to buy this book. What do you want, this like PDF guide with it for $5 extra? Like, okay, I'll give you $5 extra for this guide. And then on the next page, you'd be like, hey, don't leave yet. You just, bought the book, but it's going to take you 2 weeks to ship. How about you just got the audiobook right now so you can start listening to it while you wait for your book to come? So you might have an upsell there. And so then the next one, after you buy the upsell or you don't buy the upsell, the next one will be like, hey, no problem. You didn't want the audiobook. How about you get this training, because this training is going to allow you to do right? And so you might have another upsell there. And then the last page of the entire funnel might be like, hey, thanks for buying the book, and thanks for getting the audiobook. How about I go ahead and you join my coaching program, and in the coaching program we're going to talk about everything that's in the book, but I'm going to walk you through it. So this is just an example that I'm giving you, but the point being is that a funnel is designed not only on that specific page to get somebody to purchase, but also over the series of pages to maximize monetization from that one customer. So in that way, you can have multiple purchases, right? If they say no to the audiobook, they might say yes to something else down the funnel. And so that is kind of the example of what we call a typical sales funnel with a series of web pages. Now, again, my warning to you, because it's very common when somebody learns about funnels in the way that you're learning, is that you might end up falling down someone's funnel. But I'm letting you know right now that there's an entire science and an art regarding how to choreograph funnels to get people to purchase, right? The text that's on there, the videos that are on there. So if you fall on somebody's landing page, there's literally like loopholes that they're utilizing in our human psychology to get you to purchase. So be careful when you actually fall down someone's funnel, because even if you just buy the book, the chances of you going in there and buying something else are very, very high because they're utilizing very advanced persuasion tactics, okay? So like we talked about, sales funnel right here is typically referring to a series of web pages that is getting the person to buy. From there, what are the different types of funnels? There are many, many different types of funnels that exist for different types of purposes, okay? There's things like squeeze page funnels, book funnels, tripwire funnels, free plus shipping sales funnels, lead magnet funnels, webinar funnels, application funnels. There's just a lot of different types of funnels depending on different kinds of purposes. Now, the only reason I'm even mentioning this is because this is the Funnels Foundations training, and I want you guys to be educated on all of the different funnels that exist. But again, do not let somebody convince you that a funnel is the most important thing. These are just tools for different purposes. Just because you have a funnel does not mean that you will make money. It's just one tool in the tool belt that is needed to make money. One step in the process, okay? And so I want to emphasize here, do not let someone sell you that just because you have the right funnel that you will be successful. Beware of shiny object syndrome. We as entrepreneurs are highly prone to it. Entrepreneurs, especially because that is what got us to start a business, we're more likely to look for opportunities. And so you just want to be aware of that, okay? And so just understand that a funnel is one piece of a business, and having a funnel does not mean that you have a business. It's just one part of the entire business, okay? And so that's why I'm kind of educating you guys on the foundations of all of this, okay? So now that you know that there are different kinds of funnels, but most of the time when we're referring to a funnel in a business, it's usually referring to a series of web pages, and so it's usually part of a sales process. In the same way that I showed you earlier, we had our sales calls and all that kind of stuff. Usually those two pages, the landing page and the thank you page, that's typically what we refer to as the funnel if you hear it. But if you're confused, just ask the person, hey, what do you mean by funnel here? And then you'll further understand. The next thing I want to go ahead and talk about is funnel creation software. So like we said, a funnel usually refers to a series of web pages. So there are going to be different softwares that are going to allow you to create these funnels, right? And so how do you actually create a sales funnel site? So there are many different providers that actually allow you, their softwares that allow you to create a funnel. There's things like ClickFunnels, Kartra, Lead Pages, Instapages, WordPress, and Thrive Themes. There's a lot of different providers. Typically what we use though is we typically use ClickFunnels because it's by far the most popular, and it's also the one that really allows you to share templates, so it makes it easy for us to give you guys the exact templates that we have tested, that we know that work, so that way you guys just plug and play and can go out there and absolutely make money, okay? Now, the other thing I want to go ahead and say here, because ClickFunnels is really, really, really good, Russell Brunson is very, very good at creating a movement around his product, his software. I just want to go ahead and mention here that ClickFunnels is literally just a software. And yes, even though ClickFunnels has done an amazing job of creating a movement around their software, do not get shiny object syndrome. Focus on building your business by learning the fundamentals and principles, and do not get wrapped up in the branding or, somebody saying, hey, this, and this, and this. Literally just focus on the fundamentals, and that's exactly what we talk about in our training program, because that's what's going to help you stay focused and actually go out there and make the income and the impact that you want, is by focusing on the fundamentals, and that's why we talk about the fundamentals in the way that we do, okay? And so the question that you might have is, okay, this is awesome, Yassine. Now I'm wondering, what funnel should I use right now? What's happening right here? So the truth is that you want to make sure that you actually refer to the specific paid traffic play that you're going to be doing, and that is going to be providing you the copy and paste funnel template, and that will be in there for you. Because this specific module, right, this entire section is talking about foundations and setup. So what you want to do is that inside of the portal, underneath lead gen is going to be a section, right? I'm not going to show it here because I got to pull up the web page, but I'm going to basically, is it under lead gen? You go to lead gen, there'll be something that says Facebook ads playbook, or it'll say paid traffic playbook. In there will be all of the specific funnels, all of the specific text, all of the specific creative, copy, all of that stuff will literally plug and play for you inside the other parts of the training. And so that's what you want to follow to figure out, okay, what funnel should I use? But this specific training, I just wanted to give you guys the foundations so you can understand, okay, I understand the background and strategy behind why exactly I am using this funnel, okay? So depending on what you and your coach agree on is the best strategy for you, there will be different funnel pages and a different sales choreography accordingly, okay? And I want to just go ahead and mention also is that every funnel has matching operations and conversion mechanisms. And what that means is that you want to make sure that you refer to the playbook and talk to your coach. So for your specific situation, we can choreograph the sales process as well as figuring out what funnel is going to work best for you, depending on exactly what it is that you are trying to do overall. Okay. And so this has been the training specifically about the funnel foundations. Now that you understand exactly what funnels are in general, you will now be extremely educated as a business owner and absolutely be able to go out there and crush it because you know exactly why you're utilizing a funnel, where a funnel is handy, where a funnel is not handy, and that way you can protect yourself from shiny object syndrome as well. I will catch you guys soon on the next training.